welcome to our podcast, Deep Dive into Philosophy 205. We're your hosts. I'm Ben Schrader.
I'm Stella Schmaling.
I'm Jaden Wilson.
I'm Nidhi Conero.
We're going to make three connections throughout multiple topics across this unit, and I'm going to open the floor to anyone who wants to introduce the first one.
I'll introduce it. We are going to begin talking about native philosophy and how it is connected to engaged pedagogy. So I'll start. So native philosophy is basically the idea that knowledge is not propositional. It is based on experiences and learning throughout the life. So it cannot just be replaced by books or lectures, which is a similar topic to engaged pedagogy, as Bell Hooks wrote about how learning is also not just about lectures and books, but about the experience within learning. So it's about how you learn and who teaches you, and it's more about knowledge, not like knowledge how, but knowledge like how, like experiences in your life and how interactions in your life teach you throughout your experiences.
Yeah, just going along with that, I really liked how like in engaged pedagogy you kind of like shape, you also like while you're learning you also like, oh sorry guys, while you're learning you also
It's supposed to be
shape.
a conversation, so you can look at each other.
I know, but just in
Yeah,
the camera.
I wasn't like in the frame.
Oh, okay.
You're good. But yeah, no. Engaged pedagogy, like, you, like, shape your... What did I say? We shape the world as we learn from it. And, like, in native philosophy, that was also kind of a big thing, where... like the environment that they're in, they shape it. They're not just kind of like they're not like just passive people in it. They kind of shape their environment. And in the classroom, we're also like, we want to shape our environment as well, and like we're like adding to it as well as like taking stuff from it.
One thing
You're good.
one thing I found refreshing about both of them, even though we talked about them at different points in the semester, was that they both kind of like disagreed with the Western counterpart to itself. But even though like one's more about education while others about like philosophy, I just appreciated that they kind of challenged the already their Western norms, because I feel like that's what, even when we're not on the Western part of the world, is kind of forced to be used in other places as well. And so I don't know, with native philosophy, I always think about, I think it was called Theseus's ship, and just like how they think that the question is stupid. And that's kind of similar to like the engaged pedagogy was saying stuff about how a lot of teaching styles in Western teaching is a little redundant, and it's more just to like spew the information out but not actually grow as a person alongside your learning. And so I just appreciated both of them challenging the already there notions, I guess.
Yeah. I also noticed, like, I feel like Western, like, the Western, like, I guess philosophical standpoint on that, it, like, promotes more, like, dominion in the classroom, and, like, the engaged pedagogy little, like, text thing was, like, kind of talking about that, like, how the professors kind of just want to, like, dominate, I guess, over the students, rather than, like, it's kind of, like, a transactional thing, and, like, I guess, like, engaged pedagogy, like, it promotes more, like, vulnerability in the classroom, so, like, students are able to, like, speak up about their stuff.
I mean, like, when you think about it, you know, educators are teaching the future of the country, or the future of the world, really. And so it's better for a student to be engaged and actually apply what they're learning versus just, you know, spitting back facts that they memorized, which is what a lot of classrooms are kind of like, you know, at least sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like it's very ingrained into just like, you know, testing, whatever. A lot of the ways that we are evaluated is just how well can you memorize and spew out facts. It's not how good, like how do you actually understand what you're learning.
Right.
And
like how can you like put that into like your environment?
Like, yeah,
or,
actually,
like that back out
Yeah.
of your life. Yeah.
Yeah,
true,
application is
Right.
really important. And I
Yeah.
like what you said about I'm low-key losing my train of thought. But it's about like the domination, because I feel like that's kind of also there in the philosophy. Because when we learned about native philosophy, there was nothing about, oh, there's this type, there's that type. It was all kind of like one, you know. Versus Western philosophy, it's like utilitarian, and they're all kind of like against each other.
Yeah.
And so you're like, who's you know the best? And it's like more, you can see the individualistic approach to both philosophy and engaged pedagogy versus the collectivistic approach. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's more community based as
Yeah.
well.
All right, I'm going to shift this over to the next point, divine command theory and determinism. So divine command theory is the idea that God or a God or some religious figure essentially determines what's right and wrong, you know, our morals or whatever. And then determinism is the view that our future outcomes is already set in stone and that there's only really one outcome that we can follow.
Yeah, so I want to say that both of these ideas are the divine command theory and determinism both say really that humans or we are not the source of our decisions or not the like makers of our decisions and not the makers of our future, as one of them is crediting God for the future and for everything that happens to us, and then determinism as well as hard determinism say that we are not free and we do not make our own decisions. So both really are taking the choice out of the hands of ourselves and putting it either into the universe or into a God.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if you like believe in divine command theory, like you're like automatically kind of like your future is kind of determined.
Right.
Because like morals kind of like shape how you are. So like if you follow God, then you're going to like if this like perfect person like follows God, they're going to be making the morally right decisions, which kind of says like, oh, do they have any other choices other than like those right decisions that are like kind of like put onto us by God. And that, I don't know, I kind of connected that to like morals are kind of like themselves like agents kind of instead of like humans. Like humans are like an agent, but I feel like morals kind of like caused humans to do like stuff, I guess. Yeah.
I gotcha.
See, I would argue divine command theory is not arguing that we're not free. I mean, like, it sets a moral guideline for a lot of people, like Christians and Catholics or whatever, but it's like, you know, no one fully follows morals, like, all the time, right? You're going to do wrong in your life.
Yeah.
So, it's not arguing that you're not free versus something like hard determinism, which is saying because there's only one outcome, then you're not free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So divine command theory probably takes the take of a compatibilist, even if divine command theorists probably also believe in determinism because God is all powerful and in Christianity and a lot of religions, so that means that he has a set future.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like it allows for freedom even if there's like morals that you should follow, you don't always, but there's still freedom there. And even if there's a choice, or even if there's not really a choice in what happens or not, like you're still free because you choose that path.
You choose, right, in the moment, right.
Yeah, I agree, because when I first heard of divine command theory and determinism, I was like, oh, it's kind of like similar, but one is like religious determinism.
Mm-hmm.
But when talking about morals and how like the backbone of divine command theory is more like morals versus determinism, it's just that it's kind of already set in stone. That argument that you're not responsible for your actions doesn't apply to divine command theory, which I appreciate, because I think when someone doesn't follow their morals, like the agents, it kind of pushes them to continue to be a good person rather than like, okay, I messed up, I'm just gonna keep messing up. It's like you believe in God, use it as a reason to like stay on those morals, even if you slipped up once. And that's why I agree with what you said, that they're compatibilist with divine command theory, because people still make choices, people still like pray to God, like please let this happen, but they just don't believe that it's necessarily their choices that make it happen,
right.
but their devotion to God.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the difference that I see between determinism and divine command
Yeah, and I think I agree with what both of you guys said. I think it just basically says that moral decision making is not up to us really, but it's more up to us in the divine command theory than it is with determinism, but it's still our paths are set for us also.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we want to shift?
Yeah, we can finish up with our last point.
Somebody else?
Okay, so we're going to be talking about ethical relativism and how it relates to skepticism. So, I mean, skepticism is basically just saying that we can't know anything for sure. Because our perception of the world and we can't really know that it's actually what is in the world.
Right.
And then ethical relativism is saying that there's no objective morals. So that basically means that anyone can have whatever your moral standpoint is the truth for you basically, and that's right for you. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. As long as you think it, then it's fine. Yeah, does anyone want...
And there's also cultural
Mhm.
relativism, which is
Yeah.
the culture defines
Right, the culture defines morals.
the morals. But the thing that stood out to me with these two is that just the skepticism denying knowledge and then the ethical relativism denying objective moral facts. It's not the same, because objective moral facts is there's still subjective moral facts.
Yeah.
But with skepticism, there's still beliefs,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
subjective. I'd say the beliefs are
those are
subjective. So there's
right.
there's not anything set in stone is what both of these are arguing, but we still have our own beliefs or opinions, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say also, is that both of these really state that there is no moral rule book. There is nothing that we should be following, especially with skepticism, as it's saying that we don't really know anything. So they're both doubting morals, but also just doubting that there is a certain way that we should go about our lives, I think. And ethical relativism as well as cultural relativism really brings in that we are the makers of our morals, and we are the makers of the morals that we follow. And I guess skepticism kind of can lead to ethical relativism, as it's saying that skepticism, we can't really know anything, but we do know our morals. There's still beliefs, as you said, with skepticism. There's still some things that you can believe, but we don't know anything for sure. And then ethical relativism is we know we don't have certain morals, but we can know our morals for sure, and that's our subjective morals.
Yeah.
Do you guys, I have a question rather than a statement.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with skepticism and ethical relativism? Do you guys think that it's more subjective than objective? Because for me, when it comes to, at least with morals, I feel there are some things to me that just feel objective. I don't know if it's because I
agree.
maybe it's so subjective, but I feel so strongly it feels objective.
Yeah.
But it feels that way to me, so I just wanted to know, do you guys kind of feel no, there are objective things? I feel that's okay to say.
So what I want to say the value of skepticism in this argument is that skepticism proves that that morals can be wrong, and it's okay to doubt things that even seem in cultural relativism or set in stone. Without skepticism, I guess you could say people would still think being racist is okay or something like that. Without skepticism, no one would doubt that that's morally sound, although we all agree now that it's not.
Right.
Personally, I think I view myself more as a virtue ethics kind of morality based, where it's you act as if you're trying to be a good person, and you act until you're better and better, what.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. That's one of the points I brought up in class about how with cultural relativism, how when racism was so prevalent, or women didn't have rights what people might have disagreed with, they just kind of went along with that, but it might have like felt objective to them since it was the norm.
Right.
And so I agree that it is important to doubt, and it kind of depends on the situation, because not every situation is black and white, and sometimes it's nuanced, and it feels like we kind of have to go against what would be right. And I feel like that's a plot to a lot of like Law and Order type shows where there's a nuance in this situation. It's not just, you know, what you think it would be. So
Yeah, I definitely agree.
All right. Well, we're
Okay, thank you for
we're
watching
already
our
over 20
podcast.
minutes. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.